What's up, YouTube? We're back. My name is Type QQ, or just Type, or just QQ, or that piece of shit on the internet. We're back, and we are returning, a surprise return to Nighthaw-X3000. It had just received a huge update. The developers actually made a mention saying that this is kind of like almost a relaunch for them altogether. So I figured, hey, sure, let's take another look at it. To be completely honest, I didn't necessarily do backflips when I looked at it the first time. I thought it had I thought it was fun, for what it is. However, graphically, it left me a little wondering, a little longing for more. It just, I guess when it comes to a lot of different things when it came to the game, I was just kind of like, I just wanted more out of it, the ships, the bullets, it felt very sort of samey to me. And although I don't think it necessarily has changed that particularly, it's the same skeleton of the game. I do think the improvements were good. It improved the game. The turbo, the turbo was made a bit better, a bit more accessible. That's certainly a bonus. The dash controls, I thought were greatly improved. Although from the keyboard controls, it was once the dashes were done when you tapped left or right twice, which I thought was a bit suspect when you're talking about the minor movement of a shoot 'em up game like this. They moved that to the a control and left or right. So although I probably wouldn't have preferred that button in particular, I'm glad it's better than double tapping a direction. So it's an improvement. Maybe maybe something I wouldn't have necessarily designed so, but I'm not a game designer, so part of me doesn't know what the fuck I'm saying, that sort of thing. But we make a return to the game and see how it works out. And we do a pretty snap. What the fuck am I saying? A pretty good job, being so removed from the game. I wonder if the updates really kind of softened the difficulty a little bit as well, or maybe we just remember how this game go, that sort of thing. We don't beat the game, but it might be something we consider. We get pretty far. We're currently also playing Space Moth, and that game is proving to be a lot more difficult than I had first suspected. So this might be something that we continue on with. Who knows? No promises, I suppose. We'll see. And I do want to apologize first. You may notice that the game volume is pretty low, and I've made that kind of intentional right now, just because I had made some previous videos with this, and they've all been copyright claimed by the distributor of the soundtrack. So I'm attempting to avoid all that and just whatever. Not that I'm too worried about it, but more than anything, I just want to kind of just avoid all the drama altogether. If I can, on some videos that I don't want ads on, I just don't want ads on, whether they're ads that benefit me or anyone else, that sort of thing. I guess it's not necessarily a money issue; it's a control issue for me. I like to kind of fiddle with the settings and the controls of every little thing until I like it just so. And something like that makes it takes a portion of that out of my hands, and it kind of twists my nuts a little bit. But there goes the first boss, and we're gonna pick the homing missiles. I like the homing missiles, and they're particularly effective when you hit that turbo and really just lay waste everything in front of you. And plus, it gives you a sort of homing effect that you know, that certainly is pretty handy. That's for sure. Still, I do not like the commentator or the narrator in this game. I think you know, if there's any feedback for me that I would say, or I would offer, is I would offer some sort of in-game effect. You know, like you see, like the turbo's green on the bottom of the screen, the dash is blue. You know, if you're, you know, maybe a sound effect and like a green flash around your ship would indicate your turbo is ready, or blue for that matter for dash, and just trash can the voice altogether. That's what I would say. I mean, that's just my opinion. Maybe other people love it, but you know, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. It's not a particularly like distracting thing, but I don't know. It's completely I don't know what I'm saying. Completely unnecessary for me. Completely something I can do without. Especially the damage one. You know, when you're taking damage and once there's like, yeah, major damage and malfunction and stuff like that, I'm completely okay with getting rid of that one. But yeah, the game certainly is also generous with about taking damage. Not only does each level offer you a free man to add on to your continues, it also you can take multiple hits before you actually lose that life. You have your shield that also absorbs damage as well as your life points. So you can take, I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6 hits before you actually lose that life. So that being another reason why I think a 1cc of this game could certainly be in our future. Even though we get, you know, pelted with bullets the whole length of the game. Also, something you may have noticed, especially if you're not accustomed to Nighthawks in other videos, I've turned off the screen tilt. I thought, again, another feature that was added in this game that was you know, a questionable addition, that sort of thing. You know, like, why would they? You know, I get it. You know, 80s. You know, I get it. Radical, cool dude shit. But you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just sort of shmup purist at that point where I'm kind of like, I get it. You know, it's fun. It's creative. You know, some people may get a kick out of it, but I'm like, why would I ever want to play you know, why would I ever want to play a tilted screen with, you know, arbitrary up and down, you know, well, not really arbitrary, but, you know, cardinal directions, you know, up, down, left, right on a tilted screen. That's, you know, that's pretty silly. Second level boss here. Pretty easy boss, all things considered, except for some lazy points here. I could argue some points with the hitbox as well. Sometimes the hitbox is just like a little too large for my liking and a bit sensitive, but you know, I can't really gripe too much where how generous the game is about taking damage. So, you know, it's one of those things like I can't have it all. I understand I can't have it all, but you know, if the game wanted to try to win over my heart, I suppose that would be another thing. You know, I believe that the hitbox is the entirety of your ship avatar here. You know, a lot of time, you know, that's not completely uncommon, although you may see it in many games be reduced to like the center of your picture or a designated like circle, gem, or what have you, some sort of charm in the middle of your ship or character. Not entirely common, or uncommon for that matter. Take down the boss. We get our sort of choice of what we want. We wanted the turbo boost. I think we regret that. I think we want free men. I think that would be your. I think that would be best in our interest to, once we sit for pretty happily with a weapon, to just sit back on free men and see how deep we can get into this game. I think we fall into our roguelite sort of trappings a bit too easily to start off with this game, and want to try to build a build a better ship, that sort of thing. But in retrospect, I think it's a foolish idea, because I think if we I think if, we're talking about getting deep in the game, I think I think plain missiles will work just fine. Just plain regeneration rate of the turbo gauge is fine, that sort of thing. I don't think it's anything that we need to particularly concern ourselves too much, especially when you're talking about the number of hits, a life can consist of. I think that's kind of what you want to do. Get your missiles, get some sort of weapon that deals a good damage, good bit of damage that you like to use, feel comfortable with using, and then sit back and go, great, now if I beat a level, I'll get 25 more hits or whatever, whatever the fucking, whatever a free man will give you, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's good to be back with Nighthawks here. It's not a terribly ugly game. I think some of the animation could be, I don't know. I don't think it was intentionally made bad. I wouldn't, I even hesitate to even say the word bad. I think it's just a stylized choice. They wanted to. I imagine they wanted to have a retro feel to this, with the scroll and the pixelated movement of everything. I get it. You even see the lines, unlike the old monitor lines through the screen. Yeah. Just the simple movements of everything, and how the death animations seem a little weird, but not a negative thing. I don't want to really say. Just I don't know. Just it seems. I guess the main problem is like when if you were to buy a sort of dime a dozen Steam bargain bin shmup, that's kind of how they would do it. That sort of thing. They would have a pixelated graphic slowly move with no animation, and then if you kill it, it will shrink or fade or do something, nondescript. And I understand that, that's could be a style choice, and that's fine. It's just that's kind of like, you'd almost, it's compares to that, that sort of thing. But here we are on the 3rd level boss. Motherfucking spider in the house. But already, with the sort of new dash controls, we are having an easier time not accidentally damaging ourselves dashing into things. And this is a point in the game where we not just get further than we have in past runs, but we get much further. So whatever they did to update the game, I think it was certainly about a plus, And it is a shame that I feel I have to minimize the game volume as much as I feel I have to. because I think that's one of one of the most agreed upon bonuses or standout positive marks that this game has, is that it's got a really cool sort of 80s retro new wave sort of techno soundtrack that's pretty neat. Especially if you fan of the sort of 80 movies, dreamy soundtracks, that sort of thing. It certainly features a lot of that. And again, I think we make a mistake there, going with the sort of white shotgun snow blast type stuff. It does a good damage. It gets a nice widespread, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it affects things as much as missiles would anyway. Homing, that sort of thing. I don't think it's that more effective. Certainly, I think if we spent the last 2 levels upgrades on free men's, I think which we may do in future runs. I think that's going to be our secret key to success, I believe. But past that, we are now in unexplored territory. Yeah, in this sort of Grand Canyon sort of rocky terrain, as it were, in this one. Meeting some new enemies here as well, with these guys shooting these super fast green lasers. So, if nothing else to be thankful for this shotgun is that it does at least have a wide range to apply some pressure to the enemies from a better vantage point, I suppose. But yeah, let me know. I know we have a couple things, couple plates spinning right now on the channel right now with Bullet Soul just wrapping up, at least for the time being. We got some Space Moth DX, we have some Nighthawk, and of course we still have Ikaruga to return to, although, it's that one's a grouchy one. That one's a wild stallion of a game. Not a bad game at all, but, very difficult. So, yeah, if you have a preference, or if you have a liking to a game, yeah, let me know in the comments below. Hit me up on Twitter. Leave me a message. Who knows? Just, or not even, or just even, have I suggested hitting the like button? I don't know. I forget what the fuck I say from one second to the next. Yeah, just show some sort of indication of your interest to some video or another, and I'm sure I'll get the idea one way or another. I mean, because sometimes a lot of these videos are just made and uploaded on the whim of chance of what I'm feeling like that day. For this one, the creators of the game just said, "Hey, we made some updates to this game. You should check it out," and I did. Otherwise, I don't know if I really would have, to be honest. Just pure curiosity. So, if you're enjoying a certain, if you're enjoying Space Moth, want some more time dedicated to that, or, if you want me to stop being such a enormous wuss and get back on the Ikaruga train, you certainly can do that as well. I don't mind. I can certainly be easily distracted, though. But yeah, we're here whacking away at the boss now. you know, a pretty easy sort of pattern here. However, you know, I'm finding that, you know, I'm not particularly fond of the hitbox of the ship and the bullets. You know, I feel like maybe bullets and ship thing contact is a little too large, at least for my liking. Not saying that I'm the most graceful dodger ever, but you know, sometimes when I see a small gap between bullets, I'm like, I'm going to fit through that. And yeah, if you're playing a game with a large hitbox, you know, that's certainly, you know, especially with the dodge mechanic, you know, that's kind of what they're leaning you on, is using the dodge. Or the dash, rather, not necessarily dodging. But yeah, kind of a strange boss. Here we are, finally knocking it out of that sort of that mode there. Yeah, a little weird, a little weird. Hitbox stuff, you know, and like I was saying before, or I've said a few million times, is that, you know, I guess I can't complain too much. They are very generous with damage, so, you know, I guess it evens out, you know, stuff like that. You know, it's like, I get it, you know, but you know, you do take a lot of hits to actually go down. But large bullet size, large enemy size, large hitboxes, that sort of thing. And that kind of right there is a little sort of like, that's the death animation for the boss. But overall, you know, you know, nothing that ruins the experience too much. But yeah, we smarten up finally and get a 1-up there. And yeah, we're clear beyond the stage we were having difficulty on. Being introduced here now to some big fuck you lasers, but yeah, you'll definitely have to see the one that comes up later. That one's we got some real huge lasers coming up next, and actually I really enjoy the animation for those, which makes me believe that, you know, the enemy avatars and the you know, death animations are, you know, purely on purpose. They're just a style choice, you know, and that's cool. You know, it's certainly not confusing who the enemies are. So, you know, they certain kind of they kind of remind me more like you know, like paper or pictures of enemies than they do living ships. I guess the gripe I can make. You know, looks like they certainly are two-dimensional. You know. You know, with the little flames behind them, the only thing that really animates, and that's fine. That's cool. It looks like we also picked up a free man's at 100,000 there, maybe. Thought maybe I could survive that, but those X's, those big green laser X's, crushed us. But yeah, if there's some interest in the game, and you know, and I think there were in the previous videos, you know, yeah, we can definitely continue playing this game. I think we do pretty well, all things considered. You know, we're still sticking with this weird shotgun type thing, and honestly, we probably could have stuck with the missiles, and sitting on 3 or 4 men. That would have been pretty good, and that's probably something you're probably gonna see in the very next run. I think I think we're going to grab those missiles and then just sit on them. And here we are, we're on to the next boss right here. The scary ghost. And so far, I think I like this boss the most when it comes to you know, the design of him, animation and movement of him, and also the attacks. You know, it's you know, he's taking damage on his hands, but he's also trying to claw you with him, and also he has a sort of those pink bullets there that kind of set you up to put you in bad positions while the claws come and try to finish it off, and that's kind of cool. You know, pretty classic there, I think. He's taking our bam palm thrust right to the face. But yeah, he's having our way with us right now. You know, it happens when, you know, this is the first time you meet the boss, but also I'm being awfully impatient with my timing of things. I'm trying to get as many you know, sort of cheap hits as I can on him, where I really should just be picking my spots a bit better and taking way too much damage. But this is also a cool little stage of the fight as well. You know, this sort of random placement of of these lasers with the boss there. Kind of hoping he would be a little bit higher. He spawns really really close to the bottom of the screen, where, you know, I really can't reach him with my shots there. But you know, when we do get him, he suffers quite a bit. And there he goes. He goes down, but you know, not before some great damage upon ourselves. And there we are. We're learning. And it looks like even when you start the next level, you know, you're back at full health and full shield. So, you know, there's really, you know, I mean, as long as you're killing enemies, you know, as long as you have a shot that can at least do damage, you know, especially with this turbo, where, you know, you get these two little helper bots, these two sort of options to help you clear out things. You know, I don't really see there might not be a point to really upgrading your shot too much. And here we go, bam, fuck you, lasers. I love the animation of that. And, you know, it's a pretty damn good looking laser. Yeah, and just the trade off on the end of the level of getting, you know, that many hits off a free man is pretty wild. Boom! Orbital laser of death. Alright, we're not going to beat this game on this run here. We got a couple minutes left here on the timer, but I think we nearly double our length time in our run. So, like I said before, whatever upgrades they did to the game, thumbs up for me, I suppose. You know, nothing particularly graphical done, but it looks like mechanically in controls, you know, they were able to switch, you know, a best of. Yeah, I tried to hang in there, but that was a bad choice. I thought that was a safe zone in the middle, but there's too big of a hitbox, and there I am just like, nope, I learned my lesson there. Fuck that. You know, too big of a hitbox. But what was I saying? Yeah, you know, a couple graphical gripes here and there, but You know, they turned my, 3-level run to, I don't know, maybe like 6 now. They may have doubled it. I'm not sure. But yeah. And a game that I probably kind of put on the shelf, as sad as it is, for a few videos. I'm down with playing more. So, they win, that sort of thing, and I hope more people give it another shot as well. I think they did some positive improvements. If I haven't necessarily if I haven't necessarily noticed them all, that sort of thing. You gotta love it. You gotta love the big nasty tank boss. Classic Raiden material here. Ship versus boss, that sort of thing. And even better, I kind of like how this guy's themed, where you have your big fuck you lasers, and you kind of want to hang out in between them and deal damage to the boss. That's classic strategy, classic awesomeness, a classic test of skill, that sort of thing. All about that. Not that creating, inventing something new is, frowned upon, but I like the, I like the sort of throwback, or nods, homages, as it were.
Full speed. Severe damage. Game over.
And that's going to be it right there. Alright, thanks a lot, guys. Until next time, leave a comment and subscribe. Alright.